As September draws to a close and those darker nights draw in, it's time for us to take a peek ahead into the month of October. Yes, the horror month, the Halloween month, and see what physical media releases are coming upon us. What are the companies putting out? What am I interested in? What will I pick up? What am I not interested in? But let's take a look at some of the bigger releases that are coming out. Let's do it. The year has moved swiftly on, and yes, October. And October again is a very, very busy month. This time of the year, we do see a ramp up of releases. For October, you can expect some big horror releases because the companies, they want to cash in on the fact that it is Halloween. And a lot of people get drawn into it, especially you horror fans out there. So what do we have coming out? That is the question. So, like I said, it is a rather busy month, but for me, it doesn't seem so busy. It seems like there's a lot of stuff coming out, but not a great deal of interest to me, which is rather strange, really, but that generally changes. But no, we'll take a look. So let's just delve straight in. But if you're new to the channel, then please consider hitting the subscribe button, coming over and joining proceedings. I do this on a monthly basis, and yeah, so October the 2nd, Monday, October the 2nd is our first release day of the month. And first up, we have the movie The Pianist, World War II kind of movie, getting a 4K release. I do have it myself on Blu-ray, so it's not a film I feel that I need to venture into the realms of 4K. What I will say is that I have noticed a vast increase of movies being released to 4K. We're at a sort of in flux. The media, physical media sales are in flux. It's an uncertain time for sure, and people are releasing whatever they can to try and cash in and make some money. And I do feel that in a lot of cases now, quality's being forgot about. Some of these transfers are not the best. But I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just saying that I have The Pianist on Blu-ray. It's not a film I need to venture into. And then we have another 4K release of The Others. This is a Nicole Kidman starring film. And I saw this film back in the day upon release. I think I may well have had it on DVD back in the day, but I've never upgraded to a Blu-ray version, and I feel no need to get a 4K version. But however, it is a film that's coming out that some people may very well be interested in. I'm not one of them. Okay, so what can probably arguably be I can't get my words out. Arguably be the biggest release of the week in terms of a new release, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Yeah, finally. It seems like it's been quite a while that Disney have taken quite a bit of time getting this one out, but it has been out in other territories for a considerable amount of time. Me myself, I've had the steelbook from, I think, France it was, and I've probably had that 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks now. It came with a lenticular card that wasn't particularly lenticularly, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is out finally, and obviously you get your DVD, you get your Blu-ray, you get your 4K, and you get your 4K steelbook as well. Not the greatest art on the 4K steelbook by any means, but it's there for you to get. Yeah, and then we get Scream 3. Scream 3 is getting its 4K release and a steelbook release in time for Halloween. Yes, these have been released slowly but surely. You're getting each one come out. So for you Scream lovers out there, there's that one for you. However, it's not one that I'll be picking up. I believe the only Scream film I have in the collection is Scream 4. And ironically, it's the only Scream film that I haven't seen. I picked it up cheap for about £1 with the intent of watching it, and this was before Scream 5 and 6 came along. However, Scream 5 and 6 ensured that I probably wouldn't ever put on Scream 4, nor revisit the other Scream films either. They're a bit outdated now. And then we have the 4K release of The Little Mermaids. Well, 4K DVD and Blu-ray release of The Little Mermaid is out on this day. The live-action Little Mermaid film. But to be fair to Disney, I sat down, I watched, and I didn't think it was bad. I didn't mind it at all. It was okay, maybe a little bit long. Now, I've never seen the animated Little Mermaid. It's not a film that I've got a daughter. You'd have thought that it had been one of those Disney films that I did visit, but no, I've never seen it. I think she's probably seen it at her grandparents and places like that, but never been a film for me. So I haven't got that basis of comparison, you know, or that love for the original that affected me watching the remake. So I watched it and thought, it's okay. The main girl, she done okay. I didn't mind. Do I care that it was race swapped? Not really, because I've got no care for the character whatsoever. So, again, that was like, I don't care. Will I pick it up? Do you know what? I had it on pre-order. I had the Steelbook on pre-order. I cancelled it. Because, I don't know, just because I think that eventually I will pick this film up. I probably will, but it will be somewhere further down the line when it has decreased in price massively, and I may then delve into picking it up. Certainly not straight away. There we go. Now again, a month has passed since we had the release of the 2 Film Vault releases of Jaws and The Shawshank Redemption. These are £50 a piece, and we get 2 more coming out on this very day, and that is 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Apollo 13. 2 space set movies. Now, yes, these come in rather large boxes. They come with like a crystal that has, you know, a number imprinted into it and the film's title. They come with a wealth of collectible bits, tat. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people are getting these. These are a limited number, maybe 3,000-4,000 a piece. I don't know, because there's 2 different numbers on the other 2, which strikes me as being rather odd. But these 2 I'm not getting. These are not for me. I'm not a completist when it comes to stuff with numbers on the spine. I think that's a very silly way of collecting, that you're buying into a psychological usage. You know, this is what the companies do. They target you psychologically. As an individual, you don't feel like you can miss out on a little spine number. I don't buy into that nonsense. Yeah, but a lot of people do. But yeah, I mean, there'll be some people that want to get all of these, and hats off to you. I mean, 2001 A Space Odyssey, I already have as a Titans of Cult release. Apollo 13 I have on Blu-ray. I don't visit it that often. Do I need to upgrade to 4K? No. If I did, I probably would have done when the normal 4K came out. They're not films I need to double dip on or anything like that. With the Film Vault releases, I get the ones that I want to get. Hence, from the first 2, the first range, I got Blade Runner and 1917. And 1917 was a push. The only reason I got it is because I got it for £35. I had vouchers. So I felt that were gifted to me. So I felt like I wasn't paying that much for them. Same with Blade Runner. When it came to the second 2, I only got Shawshank and Jaws. 2 fantastic films. Jaws being my favourite film of all time. So obviously I was going to get it. But this one here, these 2, no, not for me. And when the next Film Vault range comes out, if the next Film Vault range comes out, I do expect to see a shift in price upwards to about 60 quid instead of 50. And depending on what titles are there, is arguably the reason for how many I will pick up. I could pick up none of the 4. I could pick up all 4 if they were titles that I really wanted. I could pick up 2, I could pick up 3, I could pick up 1. Who knows? I'm rambling. So we have 2 Blu-ray releases, 2 new films to Blu-ray. First one is Vampires Los Muertos. Now this is a sequel to John Carpenter's Vampires that starred James Woods. James Woods isn't in this one. Blu-ray release. It was a straight-to-video film. Now I'm a big fan of John Carpenter's Vampires. I think it's a fantastic film. I really like it. I have seen this sequel when it first came about years and years ago. I don't feel the need to have it in the collection. I'm happy with just that first one. This one is not a very good film. But one that I am happy is finally getting a Blu-ray release, and that is City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Now, I think the first City Slickers film is a fantastic film. It truly is, with Billy Crystal. And I'm so glad that finally we are seeing a release of City Slickers 2. So I'm on board for that release. So this week here, I can only see myself picking up one title, and that being City Slickers. That's a great start to the month for the pocket. It certainly is. Then let's jump to October the 9th. Even though there's a fair few releases out on this day, I'm only going to speak about two. The first one is A Nightmare Before Christmas is getting a 4K release. Yeah, not a film for me. Nightmare Before Christmas. I know it's a classic. I know people love it. It's decent. Not one that I would want to grab on 4K though. No upgrade for me on that. And the second big release, I'll say the biggest release of this week, new release, is Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Obviously you have your DVD, you have your Blu-ray, you have your 4K, you have your 4K Steelbook. There's actually two 4K Steelbooks, and one of them sits high above the others with regards to an art design, and that is this one here. And I love this one. I love the art on this. It's very reminiscent of me of the very first issue of Transformers Generation 2, the US comic from years and years ago. There's a similarity in the design that I see when I look at it. So there's a nostalgia perk for me there. That being said, this isn't a very good movie. It isn't. The effects don't feel as refined. The characters are dull. It feels like it completely dismisses the movie Bumblebee. All the goodwill that film gave us has been rejected in this film, and it just goes back to standard Transformer Michael Bay feel of fare. It feels like another Michael Bay Transformer-esque movie directed by someone else, which might be right up your alley. But yeah, it's not it's certainly one of the weakest Transformer films. That being said, I'm a big Transformers fan, so obviously I'm getting it. Like I said, that Steelbook. But I am aware that it's not a particularly good film, and I'm very critical of it. But there we go. So October the 16th. October the 16th sees a fair few releases coming out. So we have Memento, the Christopher Nolan film, getting a 4K release. And this is a big box set, $39.99. And I'm sure this has been pushed back. But anyway, so it's finally coming out, again with a lot of tat in there. That may be one for you. I'm not necessarily interested in that release myself. So that one I shall, yeah, I'm not getting. And then we have, as a Cine E edition from HMV, a new Blu-ray version of Demolition Man. Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. This is $29.99, HMV exclusive. Again, Blu-ray with a lot of tat. So what you can expect to happen is you'll buy this and then give it 6 months, you'll probably get a 4K version announced of of Demolition Man. That's how these things tend to go. Demolition Man, now I've got it on Blu-ray. Do I feel the need to pick this up? No. I'm not even a fan of the film. The film sits heavy on me. I have issues with it, major issues. Number one, I'm not a big fan of Wesley Snipes anyway. You know, I like the Blade films. I thought Wesley Snipes was very well cast as Blade. I thought he was perfect as Blade, but I don't like Wesley Snipes. Now, this happens at times with certain actors. You know, I don't like the geezer who played Morbius. Is it Jared Leto? Is that who played Morbius in the end? But I thought he was well cast as Morbius. I don't like, you know, who was the third Batman? Val Kilmer. Don't like Val Kilmer at all, but I thought he was well cast in Tombstone. This happens at times, and that happens with Wesley Snipes with Blade. But in this film, Wesley Snipes just winds me up. He annoys me. I don't think the film's story is very good. It's very contradictory in what it does. You know, the fact that... And it's all done because of the writing in the film. Basically, you have Sylvester Stallone jump forward in time. He gets unfrozen to this society, which is set up on paper as a society that now doesn't know how to deal with crime and everything, because he has to be introduced to this world where no crimes occur, essentially, and see how the world lives like that without dealing with anything. But then later on in the film, we come to find out there's a society of people that live underground that are very much akin of today, in the way they act and behave, and they come up to the surface and deal with and commit crimes, which contradicts the fact that the police department doesn't know how to deal with crimes. And that just it just sits on me when I watch a film and think, oh, stupid writing, horrible writing. Yeah, so that's not a film for me. Anyway, enough about that film. $29.99 that one is. Then we have a Westworld Steelbook, the classic Yul Brynner film. Again, not a film that you know. I've got the film, I've got Westworld, I've got Future World, but I don't feel the need to upgrade any way, shape, or form. And then Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's getting a 4K release. Disney, the classic animated movie. Again, I don't have that. I have it on DVD. I don't have a Blu-ray of Snow White. I'm not going to upgrade to 4K. It's not a film I ever sit down and watch, or would watch. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a great film. It is. It's a classic. Disney classic. But I don't feel the need to own it, because I'm never going to watch it. I've seen it umpteen times as a kid. I don't need to watch it as an adult. And then the one that I will pick up this week, just the one, and that is Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Fight, the new animated Mortal Kombat film. And I like the others. I enjoyed the other Mortal Kombat animated movies, and it's nice to see us getting another one with Cage Match. Yeah, so one I'm looking forward to. So that's it. That's just one pickup. So that's one pickup a week at the moment. City Slickers 2, Rise of the Beasts, and Mortal Kombat Cage Match. Then we jump to October the 23rd. And this is going to hit some people hard in the pocket this month, or this week, I should say. Okay, so we get Hellraiser Quartet. Hellraiser Quartet, which is a box set from Arrow that contains Hellraiser, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, and Hellraiser Bloodlines. There's two different versions available. As in, there's one with Pinhead on the cover, and there's another with another Cenobite on the cover, which comes directly from the Arrow website. You've got a 4K box set that costs £65, and you've got a Blu-ray box set that costs £60. That's a bit odd in pricing, in that there's just a £5 difference between Blu-ray to 4K. They look like really nice releases. You know, they do. They look very, very nice in their boxes. A bit odd in that I'm sure Hellraiser Bloodlines is the first of the straight-to-video films of Hellraiser. I'm sure it was. That only the first 3 were theatrical. I may be wrong here. So it feels a bit odd to have a 4th one in there, in that box set. But there we go. And whether there's another box set that will follow up with the others, who knows? Because there's a million Hellraiser films. Yeah, but there's 65 quid or 60 quid there. And then we have Exorcist, the 50th anniversary set. And this is the big set. This is 70 quid. Comes with a load of bumps, but it's sold out. You're not going to be able to find it. But it's 70 quid. And we have a steelbook as well with the original art on, which is a bit odd because you've already had a couple of Hellraiser Exorcist releases already, just a couple of weeks ago. Why they've staggered these releases is beyond me. I think there's a bit of psychological marketing going on there that kind of forces you to try and buy more than one, rather than having them all drop on the same day. That's all I can put that down to. Yes, a little bit of cheeky psychological marketing. Seriously, that's all it can possibly be. But anyway, so for me, Exorcist is a film that I've seen back in the day, in my younger days, when it was considered a video nasty and banned. Not really a film that I haven't got it on Blu-ray. I haven't picked up a 4K release yet. Well, I say yet, not in the sense that I ever will. Yeah, not really a film for me. Not one that I feel that I would ever want to rewatch, to be honest. But there we go. Then we have a 4K release of Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, the sequel. It's getting a steelbook release, 4K release, and a like special edition with some bump in there as well. Yeah, but what can I say? Hannibal. I didn't mind Hannibal. It was an okay film. It was all right. Whether I'd pick it up or not is questionable. It's sort of I'm toying with it, shall we say? I'm toying with it. Then we have The Medallion, which is one of these silly Jackie Chan movies, much akin to Tuxedo, I think. Even the cover looks very much like that of the Tuxedo. I've never seen The Medallion. It's getting a Blu-ray release. I don't think I've seen The Medallion anyway. No, I haven't. I've seen Tuxedo, not The Medallion. Again, not one for me. And then we've got Talk to Me. Talk to Me, which is the film with the hand and the girl grabs it and they can talk to the dead. And I watched this and I reviewed it. I reviewed it just the other day. So I can tell you now that, number one, I didn't like it. Number two, it spends 42 minutes of a 95-minute runtime doing absolutely nothing until it gives you something of consequence, almost 50% into the film. And the film ends up coming across as a sort of throwaway episode of The Twilight Zone that has been extended to a 95-minute runtime. It's not very good. It's from A24 Films. It's one of their biggest grossing films. That says it all, doesn't it? That says it all about tastes, people's tastes. But there we go. It's not a very good film at all. Really isn't. But anyway, let's jump to October the 30th, the last release day of October. Chopper. Yeah. Is getting a second sight release with some bump in it. Not a film for me. Not interested at all. Then we have the Ginger Snaps Trilogy box set. Again, with art cards and booklet, it looks like. Costing around the 50 quid mark. I've never seen a Ginger Snaps film. It's a werewolf film, isn't it? I believe. Are they Australian films? I think they possibly are. I may be wrong there. I don't know. So I won't be getting that either. And then we have Leon. This is the special edition releases of Leon in the big box sets that are done much akin to Fifth Element that came out a little while ago, and the Rambo one that came out a while ago. You got steelbook, standard steelbook. You got like a set that's about 50 or 60 quid. Then you got like the set that's almost 100 quid, with loads and loads of tat in there as well. They do a nice job with these releases, I will say that. They're very expensive for the more discerning collector. I did get the Rambo one as a gift, but again, not for me. Leon is not a film that I revisit often. In fact, it's a film that makes me squirm somewhat. It makes me feel very uncomfortable in the scenes where young Natalie Portman is essentially hitting upon Jean Reno. She's a child of whatever age she is, and I just find it very uncomfortable to watch. Those scenes are very, very awkward. They really are. Yeah, it's not really a film that I know this film gets a lot of love. People like it. They love it, and there's a lot to like in the film. That being said, I think it's an okay movie. That's about it. Then we get a Blu-ray release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. If that's up your street. Not up mine. Not a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I don't have one in the collection whatsoever. Not one Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Not films that I'd ever wish to revisit. And then the one release that I will get, and that is the next animated DC movie. And this is Justice League and Ruby, Part 2. I got Part 1, confused the hell out of me, but made me want to check out Ruby as a series, the anime series. And this is the Part 2 of that, and I'm hoping it sort of sheds some light on Part 1 as well. So that's... Yeah, so see what I mean? There's a lot out. There's a lot coming out this month. I mean, there's other releases as well. Some that I may not have mentioned that you will think, well, why didn't you mention that? But for me, going through the list, so in that first week, we got City Slickers, standard Blu-ray release. Second week is Transformers. Week 3 is Mortal Kombat, Cage Match. Week 4... No, sorry. Yeah, week 4 is possibly Hannibal, possibly. And the final week, week 5, fifth release day of the month, is the Ruby, Justice League Ruby. So there's not actually a lot out for me, really, which is fantastic. Save some money. No, that's really good. That's really good. From a monetary perspective, it really is. It's not a busy month for me, but it may be for you. So let me know down below what releases you're getting, what's coming out in the month of October that you're looking forward to, if anything at all. Whether it be DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, Steelbook, special editions, all welcome. You know, I'm not beyond picking up DVDs. I still pick up DVDs at times. You know, the last DVD I picked up was last month, was The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which is a fantastic film. Shame it didn't get a Blu-ray release. I would have got it on Blu-ray had it got a Blu-ray release. The only time I really pick up DVD is when there isn't a proper release of it, or a Blu-ray release. That's a very good film. Very, very good film. So that's it. That's me done for the month of October. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on what you're getting. And I will be back at the end of October to have a look into November, when we're fast approaching Christmas. So we might see some big releases coming out around that time as well. Be there for that. See you later.